Next up in the Argento-a-thon is the Stendhal syndrome. Now, what is a Stendhal syndrome? Well, first, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that exactly correctly, but who cares? Stendhal syndrome is when somebody experiences dizziness or hallucinations even, or a rapid heartbeat or confusion while looking at something profound like art, or in my case, gorgeous women, like Asha Argento. I think I had Stendhal syndrome the whole time I was watching this movie, but because my God, is she gorgeous in this damn movie. Especially once she cuts all her hair off and she's got like that real boyish cut, and then she's wearing like the suit that she's wearing. She looks like Tegan and Sarah or something. Whoo, my good God, was she fantastic. And then later in the movie, she throws on this blonde wig. She could get like 3 different looks in her. Wow, is she stunning. Now, this actually was supposed to be played by Bridget Fonda. It was also offered to Daryl Hannah and even Jennifer Jason Leigh. So, I mean, it was all over the place. A lot of beautiful women were up for this, but outside of Jennifer Jason Leigh, I definitely think that Asha takes the cake here in the beauty department. But man, I had a big thing for her as well. Okay, we're gonna stop talking about women here, but see what I'm talking about? Stendhal syndrome. I can't think when she's around. So, Ennio Morricone comes back here to score this movie. I don't think they had worked together for a little while. I could be wrong on that. I don't know who scored the last one. But he did like the first 3, like the Animal trilogy. I think he did all the music in those. So I kind of saw him disappear for a while. And I have to say that the music in this, outside of, you know, Asha's beauty, is... And I really think that she actually gives a pretty cool performance here. She was not very good in the last movie, albeit, you know, being gorgeous. She was a pretty terrible actress, honestly, in the last one I just watched, Trauma. But I thought she was actually pretty good in this. Not great. I mean, her acting is not amazing or anything, but I thought she was pretty good. But anyway, it was back to Ennio. I thought his score was the absolute highlight of this film. I loved it. It was so just odd and haunting. And I read that you can play it backwards and it's exactly the same, like the way he did it. So it's like the same thing frontwards and backwards. So I thought that was really cool. And this is the first Italian feature-length film to use CGI. I thought the CGI was going to be overused and really distracting to the film, but it ended up being just a little distracting. Yeah, the scenes where it is used, there's a couple that are okay, and then there's other ones like the paintings that are melting and whatnot. I don't know how else they would have done it, to be honest, but that looks very dated. The bullet through the cheek one I thought looked okay, kind of cool, and then the pills going down the esophagus into the stomach was interesting. I mean, it was cool. It's the only way you could really get that shot as well, so I liked it. We also have Thomas Kretschmann in this, if that's how you say his name. And this is a guy that you've seen everywhere. This dude's in everything. U571, the list goes on and on and on. And I think a lot of people will have their films to which they're like, oh, as soon as they see him, they're going to think this guy. But the movie he immediately makes me think of, anytime I see him, is this movie with Kerry Russell called Grim Love. And it is about the cannibal of Rottenburg. This is a true story in Germany, where this guy went on the internet and he found another guy, a willing participant, who, you know, the guy that Thomas Kretschmann is playing in the film is a guy who he's like obsessed and wants to eat somebody. Like, he's a cannibal, but he wants somebody's permission to do it. He doesn't want to like go out and kill somebody. He wants this to be like a joint effort. And then there's another guy who wants to be eaten, you know, and he lets him, and it's fucked up. That movie's movie's nuts. And to think that it's actually playing off of real events, like this actually happened. Like, cut the guy's dick off and they both ate it together. in reality. That's fucking insane. So yeah, anytime I see this movie, and they play off of it in another movie, we see it for a second in the opening of that movie Feed, where that guy's like really like obsessed with like the feeding fat girls until they die. There's another really fucked up. See, I watch a lot of fucked up movies. I'm just realizing that. Anyway, so overall, I liked the movie. It's 2 hours long. It's one of his longer films, and I did find myself a little bored, and I felt like there was scenes that were kind of a chore to get through. But the highlights of this movie are Asha herself, the score, and the very bizarre atmosphere that this film creates. It's just a very odd film that doesn't really make a ton of sense at times. Like, it just kind of jumps here and there, and you're like, is this a dream sequence? Wait, is this actually happening? And then it'll jump from like one dream sequence to the next that maybe it was reality, and then it is, and then you're like, wait, what? How did she get here from there? Was she in a delusion after she was in Stendhal syndrome? Like, the scene where she is like going to pass out, and then she like wakes up, and like her and Thomas Kretschmann are like starting to have sex or something, and then it like cuts to the next scene where he's like raping this other girl in the car, and then blows a hole through her cheek, and then she's in there, and before that she was like a detective, and then she ends up actually being into. I don't know what the fuck was going on in that like whole like 2-3 minute scenario. Like, I don't know what of that actually happened, what it didn't, I don't know. I was completely lost on that shit. It felt like the movie had been edited out of order. That's how it felt. It was like, wait, who? Wait, was she's a detective? What? What the fuck is going on right now? So it can be confusing. I mean, maybe people who have seen it a few times, or maybe I'm just a total idiot, but I was completely lost. When Thomas Kretschmann he's like rolling this razor blade around in his mouth, and he's just like flipping it and rolling it around. And then he grabs her lip, and he's just like, I want to kiss your bleeding lips. It was a cool scene. I liked that one too. And I liked the scene where he shot the bullet through it, and he looks through it, and he's like, hi, and he's all making these like weird faces, and all. That was a really cool shot as well. And I like that she like, when she goes into her Stendhal syndrome moments where she like walks into the paintings, she like dives into one, and she's like in the ocean, and then she's like making out with this like weird fish that looks like maybe like from Tim Burton's Big Fish or something. It's like this weird big catfish, I think. What that signified, or what the metaphor there, I fucking have no idea. There's other fish in the sea. That wouldn't apply here. I don't know what the hell that's trying to say. And then she like goes into this other painting, and it's just like this little cove or something, and she's just walking around in there, and then she comes out, and I don't know. That's just to show us her state of mind at the time, because she ends up being a killer at the end, which makes me wonder if he ever existed at all. So I don't know if that's just outright implied, and I missed that was like they're saying that, or if we're like questioning, or if it's like she just lost it after he did this to her, or what. Because, as I said, I feel like this is open for interpretation, but maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know, but that's how I kind of saw it when I was watching it. And I also like this huge dicked demon that they see for like half a second. I actually would have liked to freeze frame that and just kind of taking a better look at it. And she's all pissed off, so she goes out and she starts kicking these guys' asses, and she's like fighting these, boxing places, and then she goes back, and there's this guy who's crazy in love with her, and he's like trying to make love to her, and she's like, yeah, you want to have sex? She like flips him around, and she starts like trying to give it to him. He's like, this is how it feels, motherfucker, which I wouldn't have any interest in. But I totally understand. I don't know what girls see in men at all. I mean, I'm glad and I'm happy that they do, but ugh, guys are disgusting. And I mean, I think that one big thing here that a lot of people are gonna question is the whole Argento filming and directing his own daughter's rape sequences. Like, there's a couple of them. They're not super intense, to be completely honest. I mean, we're not talking I spit on your grave shit here. The last film she was in, she actually showed her nude body, and this one is and that's just her just being in the bathroom and just showing her boobs really fast. And this one's like a full rape movie where she's raped a couple times in the film and you never see her naked. So it was weird. It was like, huh? Okay, like that's where I would think the nudity would actually fit. The other scene just kind of was like, all right, let's just show her tits because they're wonderful and we all want to see them, you know, kind of thing. That's really what it felt like in that moment. And then you have these moments, which seeing her boobs in rape scenes isn't going to be all that exciting. You're not going to be like attracted to it because you're like, she's being raped. This isn't the time for that. But anyway, I'm talking about boobs again. Jesus Christ, dude. Anyway, then she finally gets revenge on this guy, whether or not she actually does. I'm guessing she does. I do think the guy does exist, but I could be wrong. But yeah, they almost have like a Halloween 2 Michael Myers swiping his, scalpel. She like kicks one of his eyes out, and his other eyes is so bloody. He's like aiming the gun around, you can't see. He's like shooting. So I thought that was pretty reminiscent there. And she goes in and she kind of like tortures the guy a bit, which I'm all for. And she throws him in the water, and the body's never found, and she loses her damn mind and ends up starting to kill people because she's convinced he's still alive. And the most fucked up thing she does in this entire film is when her ex-boyfriend is in the room, she's talking to the other dude on the phone. She's like, I love you and I want to make love to you and all this, and the other guy's listening in. And then she goes to sneak out of the place, and she leaves the bath running before she sneaks out and goes and like across town and goes to like this museum or whatever. She left the bath running. Like, why didn't you just run the bath until it was full, then shut it off, and then sneak out the fucking window? Really? Okay, wasting water, not cool. Yeah, that was like a minute setup for a joke there. I'm not joking. That's fucking bullshit. Anyway, I don't know. I think there's definitely going to be people who love this movie, and I think multiple watches might make it better for me, but overall, I just, as I said, I named the 3 things that I really enjoyed about this film, but I wish it would have been tightened up a little bit. Like, the 2-hour runtime is felt, for sure. So, all right, guys.